What day is it? Um, let's see. Wait, Sunday, March 7th, 2021. Um, it's been a long day. Oh, and I'm getting like a head cold, so I'm a little congested. Um, so I don't know if that sounds different, but I'm okay with it. But it is kind of. I think this is the first time I've been sick this whole pandemic. Um, I usually get sick, with non-pandemic things, the usual stuff. People have been getting sick all throughout civilization, evolution, disease, pathogen, virus, bacteria, all that fun stuff. It's evolved right with alongside us. It's part of us. It's part of the code. So, and it serves a purpose. It's not just there because to cause us difficulty and inconvenience and mortality. It is there to cause, it's part of the, it's just life as we've been born into it. And consciousness, this whole consciousness thing, that's just a byproduct of complexity. You know, was it ever, intended for survival? Or was it? It's like, I don't, I don't know why I'm talking about that. But I had an interesting day. Back to things that don't really, in the grand scheme of things, of course, nothing. Oh my gosh. Things that matter to me, still, it doesn't matter if they matter or not. They still matter to me. That's good enough, I guess. I'll leave the more complicated questions elsewhere, another time. So, I don't know. Solve anything? Depends on who you're asking and what the question is. Do I feel better about stuff in general? I think so. Some understanding. And it's just I guess the thing for me, because it's all about me, is I feel like I want some special something versus like just being a random, just. I think I've already got that though, just that acknowledgement. Asking for more is greedy, but so I'm practicing very hard to just mind my manners, just yeah, appreciate what is given instead of being so concerned about more. So anyway, because when people, I know for me, when they start asking for more than what I'm already giving, then that becomes a stress. And when I get stressed, all of a sudden what is being freely given stops being so freely given and becomes noticed given. And then it becomes, why am I giving? And then I might, let up on the giving so much, and then I might just stop. And it's like, okay, you got my attention now, and I'm paying attention to, you know, I mean, unless it's like for good things, because sometimes, like if I'm being, I was going in a different direction. If I am being mistreated in such a way, I might not notice, or suffering from some sort of abuse of some kind that I actually don't like, but I won't notice. It'll take me time to notice. So if people, keep applying more of whatever it is they're doing that I don't like, but I'm not noticing, eventually, they'll cross a threshold, and activate. It's like, oh, and it'll get my attention. And then I'll be like, oh, I don't like this. And okay, oh, and I need to go away now. So, anyway. But then on the other side of it, it's the not noticing stuff that I do like, but not actively appreciating it until I receive or it diminishes or goes away, and then it's like, oh, this thing that I really like, oh no, it's and then I get it, and I notice, and it gets my attention, and I miss, and so I don't know, yeah. But today, I guess I did a good thing, I think. I tried to. I don't know where miscommunication happens or misunderstanding, or even it might not have had anything to do with me. I kind of think it didn't, but I thought it did, or thought it could have, so I wanted to make sure. So, because if it did, it's like I want to, I couldn't think of anything, so I guess that's a good sign. But, sometimes things that I do, it's like, I don't know how they could be possibly misinterpreted, but I know I'm really good at misinterpreting things. Somebody sends me a text and it says hello, I'll be like, what's that supposed to mean? That's my joke. I think I've probably told it a couple times by now. But it's a good one, because it's true. I'm working on it. Not receiving texts, that is. I'll still misunderstand them if I ever get them. But I'm really working on not having much communication in formats that I just have difficulty with. It's like one of the biggest accomplishments for me this year was getting off that daily text for what was it called, a sobriety accountability thing, where you send a message and it's just without even thought. It's just send a standardized, message like, yeah, I'm going to be sober today, and they send one back, and then it's like, and you're expected to send it, and it's like, it's one more thing to have to remember every day, and I have to remember to do it and then send it. And then they would send it back, and I see it, and then they would send another response, like a thumbs up. It's like, okay, another message to acknowledge. Oh my gosh. And it wasn't like a big thing, but stacked across a couple years, it added up, and it did get noticed, and I didn't like it, and it had to stop. So as soon as a break was afforded me, and they noticed that they had forgotten for like 10 days. It's like, and then they came back. It's like, well, I just figured they were dead or something had happened. And it's like, I was enjoying not having that message to have to acknowledge every day. So when they came back and tried to start it up again, I was silence. They can think whatever they like. I mean, I kept up with it. I was being polite, and it's like, was it helping me? No. Was it helping them? Maybe. But what I didn't really ever intend for it to be a lifelong engagement. I didn't know I was making that sort of commitment, and so I think they took offense. But forgiveness. And if they are that hinged and broken up over like a text message that they used to get every day for a couple years just going away, I mean, if that was all they had going for them, then, there's a sadness, yeah. Like, there's a little bit of perceived sadness towards me sometimes. But I can recognize it, but it's something I can work on, So it's like this other guy. It's like whatever he's missing in his life that caused him to have a reaction about my absence. It's like, yeah, dude, work on your life. make progress, do things, meet people. Don't be so invested into a text message. So, anyway, I don't think I ever formally acknowledged that, but for over 2 years, it was a daily thing. And so anyway, it was a thing I got away from. And then, you know, I'm glad. I still have one other thing that is automated. It's like every evening I get a message from some other guy in recovery, and he just sends it out blindly. He doesn't care, you know, and I'm on a list, and I can't get off of it, and I have no choice. And every day there's a message to delete, because I don't read them. I stopped reading them a long time ago. But it's like every day there's a message to delete on my phone, and it pops up around the same time, and it's like, oh good, there's my message to delete for the day. Awesome. So I deleted. I even found a faster way to delete it. I don't even have to open it to delete it. I can just press and hold, and it pops up, and I can. So that's nice. And he gets to feel like he's helping. That's the nice thing. And I don't actually have to do anything. I can just be let. Because I've seen people try to fight to get off the list, and oh, it's funny. And people eventually do find that they do get off the list, but it's like work. So it's like, I'll just stay on the list and just delete my message every day for, well, until he stops doing it for one reason or another. And when he does, I won't question it. I won't be like, hey, where's my message? No. I know the guy. I've actually met him. He doesn't mean any harm. He's harmless. So, anyway. So, anyway, I had a good day. I did some writing. Because like I was saying, I wasn't sure if something I had said possibly was... I couldn't see, but all of a sudden I was getting a lot of attention out of nowhere. And it's like, okay. And then I saw this, and I was like, well, maybe it had something to do with... see, because it came after, and I was thinking chronologically, okay, all of a sudden I was getting this attention, and then I saw this that sounded like it was upset. So I was like, okay, was something that they said or saw around what and I was like, so I wasn't sure. So anyway, but I know they have like other things going on in their entire life. It's not, you know, they have plenty of other things, lots of other things, too many things in my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. What was I saying? That they have too many things. Oh, so it could have been any number of those things that were influencing their thought. But I've never seen them, like, I don't think, be mean to the to the person they write to in a way like that. You know, it had a sense of betrayal in there, like, and I didn't like that. So I didn't know if it came from misunderstanding or misinterpretation or what it was about or what it was referring to. As it was, I think, from something like 3 weeks ago, too. At least it referred to something, at least I think it did. I'm just guessing at stuff, and I don't like it, but it's like, I don't want to look dumb. It's like, am I supposed, you know, it's like, or like have to ask for an explanation, because it's frankly none of my business. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it isn't. Because I think it would be explained to me if it was. And then I also received a really, really long essay that had nothing to do with that and was just perfectly fine. So I was just like, well, that's over there, and this is written for me, specifically. For me. And there's no hint or reference to anything that sounds disturbed or discontented. So since this is just for me, and that's like public, and I don't understand it, I'll just focus on what's written for me and figure that everything else is okay. So that's what I did. And I responded based on the entire history of my knowledge of the person, and then this new material and what that added to it. So, another layer of information complexity. So, I don't know. So I think I did a good thing, because I still addressed the other issue too. Mentioned. Because I don't think anybody means any harm. I don't think so. But still, harm is registered. I know that too, because I feel it myself. It's just like too much attention. So anyway, like a lot of my writing today, based on some other things, it's like, I want to know. It's like, am I doing anything wrong that would be preferred that I don't do? Or am I not doing something that, would be helpful? So I just ask some questions, just point blank. Is there anything I can do? Or is there anything I cannot do? And I gave some examples, so I don't know if that'll help or not. But as far as like friendship maintenance and all that kind of stuff, and friendship depreciation, how like people can, go away and then come back, and it's like nothing, there's no time that passed. Yeah, I can kind of, I do that, but I mostly just find separation points, and then just never go back. And if I happen to stumble across them, it picks right up where I last remembered them. But I don't expect to be friends, not for me. I expect other people to have, well, because people change. If I go away for 10 years with no explanation and then come back, I remember them as I remember them, but I can't expect them to, and they'll probably remember me as they remember me, if they remember. But I can't expect there to be that level of continuity, because there just isn't. It takes work, it takes effort to maintain. I mean, there's a sense of familiarity, but I have to reassess, because people change while you're not looking. I know they do for me every day, because stuff happens that I don't know about every day that's influencing their behavior. And if I don't keep up on communication with them, then there's stuff happening that I don't know about, and I don't know how to be considerate and sensitive to whatever's going on in their life that I don't know about. So, because I can accidentally be, well, the opposite. I can accidentally be inconsiderate, insensitive to different issues that I don't know about. So it's like, and I don't make jokes, that are, I don't make jokes really. So I don't know. These are just my afterthoughts, after images. I felt good about the writing. I think it was appreciated because I saw something afterwards. And it might be totally unrelated, because I'm not the center of the universe. But just yesterday I saw that they were being mean to the person that they write about. Not all the time, but a good amount. And then I saw like something that sounded like, it was more like normal, I guess. More reassuring, maybe. More understanding. I'm not sure. So it might just be nothing. No coincidence. Or just a coincidence, I guess. I don't know. And then I was thinking about, even if it didn't have anything to do with me, which it probably, it didn't have anything to do with me, I still may have applied or had, if, I don't even know if anything was read. I have no clue. But, maybe I have a passive effect. Even if it was read, then, just a passive effect of something. And I was thinking like active effect, passive effect, and it's like, how much do I matter in any situation to anybody? It's like, I only know that I do what I do, and yep. But does my absence cause other people I don't know. Am I missed? Probably. But I guess maybe I just don't pay attention enough. It might just be a case of that. It's like, and I don't know who in my local environment may be trying to get my attention, but they really have to. I don't know what it takes to get my attention. Apparently I need like a writing portfolio. As I was thinking about that today, or no, it was the other day, about how if I meet someone new, it's like, can I get a sample of your writing? And that made me smile to myself, because that tells me stuff. I don't know why, but I am attracted to writing. Show me your writing, and I'll let you know if I'm interested. So, that's probably not good. It's not, but I do think more people write than what I know. It's just most people don't make it public. Who knows? Like this. There could be lots of people doing this, but how do you find them? And maybe I'm being really, really familiar, and this is not a good idea to be doing this, but I just don't know it. And oh well. It's entertainment. So take it for what it is. And it's not like anybody watches these anyway, so I can get away with whatever I want. But I don't, because this is who I am. I don't really have any overarching goal or agenda or motive. I'm not advertising or promoting. I don't even tell anybody about this. I can't imagine I can't, like, if I do meet somebody else, like, what will I even tell them about all this stuff? Or is it just a secret? Because I don't even explain what's in each one of these. It's just me talking. And same thing with Facebook and all that. What anybody thinks about any of it, because I don't give context a lot of times. And it's like the only way to understand it all is to read it all. And it's just massive. Just thousands of pages. Just unapproachable, unassailable. It can be done. But who has the time? And also it's very, I don't know. I don't know if I care so much about privacy. Apparently I care less and less as time goes, I guess. Because I just realize that, hey, if somebody, I don't, no comments. So, anyway. This is a conversation going nowhere, and I'm kind of getting tired, so I think I'm going to go do something else now. Sorry, not sorry. Yep.